Hey guys, Dan here from DansTube.TV, and today we have an epic battle between the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro. They will be going head to head in this review, where I compare the pros and the cons, and let you guys know my opinions on both of these drones. When it comes to the Mavic Air or the Mavic Pro, I would highly recommend the Fly More combo, which includes extra batteries and a charging hub. I really do recommend this when it comes to the Air, as you don't have the greatest battery life, but it's also highly recommended for the Mavic Pro as well. I will get into battery life later on in the video, but I just highly recommend this combo as it actually comes with a bag as well, and it's just quite a good deal. Now when it comes to the prices, I will have the Amazon links in the description below. Now I do get a small commission on these links if you do buy from them, so thank you so much if you do support the channel. If you don't, then that's up to you. But the prices are as follows. These are American prices: $999 for the Air and $1,299 for the Mavic Pro. So you're paying an additional $300 for the Pro. Now does this justify the price? Are you getting extra features? Are you getting more when it comes to getting the Mavic Pro? That's what this video is really trying to delve into and try to understand. Now one thing I would like to mention is the size. I was blown away immediately when I saw the Mavic Pro, and now they've created something even smaller again. It's amazing how small the Mavic Air is. They're both extremely compact, small drones that offer a lot when it comes down to it, and they're both really good drones, and honestly I think you would be happy with both of them regardless of what you get. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the Air versus the Pro. Now I've tested both of these drones for an extended period of time, and I've done a lot of research to try to figure out what the Pro offers that the Air doesn't, and what the Air offers that the Pro doesn't, to try to really create a true comparison to see what you guys will be getting out of the package and to see whether it actually fits your needs. So the first thing is the video bitrate. So the Mavic Pro can only offer up to 60 megabits per second, where the Mavic Air can offer 100 megabits per second. Now this basically just translates to higher video quality with the Mavic Air, but I guess I haven't really noticed that drastic difference though. It's not a substantial change when it comes to quality of the video, it's just a slight bump, a slight improvement on the Mavic Air's end. But at the end of the day, they are both great drones that offer 4K footage, and to be honest, if you're looking at it just on a kind of surface level, you're not going to tell the difference. With the release of the Mavic Air, they really promoted this whole slow motion feature. So the Mavic Air can actually shoot in full HD, so that's 1080p at 120 frames per second, and it actually automatically slows the footage down, so even when you put it on your computer, it's slowed right down and you can just chuck it in the editing suite or chuck it online, and it's ready to go, which I thought was really cool. You don't have to play around with it or do any sort of editing. And then the Pro only offers 96 frames per second in full HD at 1080p, and both the Mavic Pro and the Mavic Air can shoot in HD at 120 frames per second, so that is basically 720p at 120 frames per second. Now when it comes to video resolution, this is where the Mavic Pro takes a slight advantage. So you can actually shoot in a Cinema 4K, which is 4096 by 2160, and you can shoot at 24 frames per second. Now both the Mavic Pro and the Mavic Air can shoot in 4K at 3840 by 2160, and you can shoot at 24, 25 or 30 frames per second. So the Mavic Pro just offers that additional Cinema 4K at 24 frames per second. When it comes to the transmission, the Mavic Pro again is taking the lead here. The Pro actually uses a more reliable syncing system called the OcuSync, which is just a lot more stable, and it's built in-house by DJI, so you get 100% reliable connection pretty much all of the time, while the Air uses a Wi-Fi, which is an advanced Wi-Fi that DJI have definitely done a great job with, but it's still Wi-Fi, so it still has the possibility to get completely screwed around with by any Wi-Fi in the area. It's extremely sensitive to interference, and honestly, it's not 100% fantastic all of the time. I have had a few issues with it dropping out here and there, and that's with the Air, where the Mavic Pro, I don't even think I've had one issue with it losing connection. So the Air can get up to 4 kilometers away, but that's when it's in the FCC mode, and this mode actually depends on where you're living. So certain countries will have different modes, or you may have the CE mode, which means you can only get 2 kilometers. So make sure you research what your country actually offers, if it's CE or FCC mode. And like I mentioned, I did have some interference with the Mavic Air, where the Pro can get up to 7 kilometers away, and I've never had any issues with the Pro at all. Do remember to follow your local rules though. You need to make sure that you keep your drone in line of sight, but this added range in the Pro just ensures that you won't have any interference, and it ensures that you'll have a safe flight where you won't have to worry about any sort of transmission issues. Back to a positive for the Mavic Air. The Air actually offers inbuilt 8GB of internal storage, where the Pro doesn't offer that at all. You have to buy an SD card or a micro SD card for your Pro, but I still do recommend getting a micro SD card for your Mavic Air, seeing as this additional 100 megabits of data when it comes to your video files in the Mavic Air is going to be a lot larger. You're going to be using that data a lot quicker, so an additional micro SD card is handy regardless of what drone you're getting. Now let's get on to the battery life of the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro. The Air can only give you about 17 to 19 minutes of flight time, so that's why I really recommend the Fly More combo with the Mavic Air, and seeing as it is $300 cheaper, you could put that money towards getting extra batteries as well, so you could have 4 or even 5 batteries, where the Mavic Pro nets you about 23 to 25 minutes, so again, drastically better, and definitely the pro end of this kind of drone battle, I guess you would call it. Quickly moving on to the camera clearance now. When you take off and land with the Mavic Air, you really have limited clearance. The camera's basically touching the floor here, so if you have grass that's taller than a millimeter, you're in trouble. You basically need like flat dirt, really, if you want to take off and land with the Mavic Air. Well, it's not that bad, but I mean, like, you really have very limited clearance. The Mavic Pro, on the other hand, has a bit better clearance, but still not fantastic. So for both of these little drones here, I do recommend actually getting landing gear, or you can get a landing pad. The landing gear is just the extended legs. The landing pad is something that you can hammer into the ground, and it's a really good flat surface to land on. Otherwise, just find a bench or some sort of dirty, nice, flat area. So that seems to work really well, and that's something that you lean towards. Otherwise, just get yourself landing legs. They're really awesome, relatively cheap, and they kind of look cute on the drone as well. The gimbal systems are drastically different on the Air and the Pro. The Air actually has a very similar gimbal or camera enclosure to the Spark, although it does house a 3-axis gimbal, where the Spark only offers a 2-axis gimbal. Now the Pro does have a 3-axis gimbal and a completely different design when it comes to the camera and the gimbal itself, but unfortunately the Mavic Pro seems to have some issues with the gimbal system. There have been a lot of comments in forums, and a few on my old videos actually, saying that the Mavic Pro gimbal system has failed on them, it's been damaged very easily, or something's gone wrong with it, where the Mavic Air and the Spark have a really cool enclosed system that actually protects the gimbal mechanics and the camera itself. Now when it comes to obstacle avoidance and the sensing systems, the Air actually has more sensing systems. It has a forward, backward and downward sensor, while the Pro only offers a forward and downward sensor. The Air also offers 3-directional environment sensing, and this feature is called A-Pass, and it actually allows you to continue flying while the drone maneuvers around obstacles automatically. This is actually really well done, and it's interesting because it will actually create a new flight path without ceasing its current operation, and it will maneuver around or up certain obstacles to continue the shot and to keep that cinematic flow without awkward juddery movements. Now the Air also offers a SmartCapture mode, which is not available at all on the Mavic Pro, and this feature is very similar to the advanced gesture controls on the Spark. It actually allows you to control a lot of the drone's functionality without a controller or without any other input besides your hands. So firstly, you can take off and land with your hand, you can move the drone around, you can increase and even decrease altitude, you can bring the drone closer and push it away from you, and the most important thing, you can start recording and take a picture with just simple gestures or simple motions, and it's amazing. It works really well, and the gesture control is better than the Spark. When I tested that, it was decent, but a lot of the time it would fail or it wouldn't recognize you. The Mavic Air is actually a really solid sensing system, and it seems to pick up all my movements really well. Now when it comes to the design of these drones, they both have really cool folding mechanisms with a compact design that you can honestly just tuck away in your pocket. Now the Air is a lot smaller than the Mavic Pro, but the Mavic Pro, when it folds up, is actually still quite a small drone. And I love how solid both of them feel. The folding mechanics on the arms on both of these drones is actually really solid and works extremely well. One thing I would like to see though is folding propellers on the Mavic Air. The Mavic Pro have them and it just tucks the drone away a lot tighter and easier, where the fixed propellers on the Mavic Air is kind of awkward, and I would love to see some folding blades, which I'm sure we'll see in the future. The controllers are very similar when it comes to their design, but the Air actually offers detachable control sticks, which makes it even more compact, and with the size of the Mavic Air as well, it's a great travel companion and an extremely tiny drone. Now the Pro has a very similar design again, you can't detach the control sticks, but you have a very detailed screen showcasing flight information, so it's a bit of a trade-off. Either end, you either miss out on the screen or you miss out on the detachable control sticks. I mean, I do use the detailed screen quite a lot, but you don't really miss it when you don't have it, if that makes sense. Like when I'm flying the Mavic Air, I don't really care that much that I don't have that screen. I'm normally just watching the drone and checking my footage back and forth, and that's pretty much it. The Air definitely lacks color profiles and a few other features that the Mavic Pro has. It also lacks the intelligent flight modes that the Mavic Pro has. The Air does have a nice selection of flight modes though, I will definitely give that a notable mention. They've done a good job of compiling the most important flight modes, but the Mavic Pro offers more flight modes and it also offers more options when it comes to color profiles. The Air only offers normal or D-Cine-like, which is very limiting, but it still offers adequate kind of features and functionality for the casual pilot or the professional pilot. The Air also seems to get a lot more attention from birds when I'm flying, where the Mavic Pro doesn't get that as much. They seem to be scared of the Mavic Pro, but the Air, they seem to want to play with it. I don't know what's going on there, but just be mindful when you're flying around birds. But overall, honestly, these are both fantastic drones. They're foldable, they're 4K, and they're packed with features. So whatever you get, you're going to be honestly happy with. The Pro definitely does offer more pro features and functionality, but the Air offers a tiny form factor, something that's honestly amazing for traveling, amazing for tight little shots where you can't film maybe with the Mavic Pro, maybe it's too tight or too enclosed. The Air is going to be great for that kind of situation, and you honestly will be happy with whatever you get. Just kind of figure out which one offers you the best range of features and satisfies your needs. What are you going to be using this drone for? Kind of assess that and figure it out, and I'm sure you'll come to the right conclusion. Definitely both great drones though. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for some more awesome drone content. Thank you again, and peace out.